Welcome back. I'm going to play with the transmission today. We're going to see about cleaning up the case a little bit. I've already taken all the screws out and taken apart quite a bit. If you haven't seen it, this is the inside of your transmission. This is a 2-speed transmission. This is a forward only center differential. So we changed the truck to a forward only setup, and this is the center differential that you will get. It comes preloaded with I believe 100K differential fluid. This is your 2-speed. This is the clutch that comes out. You grab on to the 2nd speed. This is a 1-way gear. Back in here. So it's got a couple shims you got to put underneath of it. And the 2-speed goes back in. So in that conversion, there was this was the hole where the linkage went through to adjust for forward and reverse. And this was the OptiDrive system. This was so it wouldn't engage in any of those systems unless the gear was not turning. So with that conversion for the center differential, gave you a plate to block it off here and just a plug to block it off. Alright, this shaft comes out the front. As you can see, everything spins nice and freely. Spur, 38 tooth spur. This is the original slipper clutch. We haven't done any type of major power upgrades, so there's no reason to upgrade the slipper clutch. The gearing on the inside, I know you can change that. This is the stock, so it came with the wide gearing, which was great for low-end torque and high-end speed. They do make a standard which gets the gearing closer together, and then there was an actual close gearing, so you almost don't even hear the transmission shift. That's more for racing applications. Same with the center differential, but metal into plastic. Do not over tighten. Alright, everything still spins free. Alright, because we did the center differential upgrade, I couldn't leave anything alone as usual. And we added the rear brake system. And this allows you to adjust all the rear brakes versus the front brakes. So this is for the brakes, rear. You put a brake shoe on. So that rear brake is actually 2 carbon rotors in between 3 steel plates. And you're supposed to down and then back it off. They said it's a half turn. So they should spin free. There we go. It's a pretty simple little system they set up for it. I believe they just hold it in the groove, so you got to be careful not to over tighten it and affect the lever performance. Plus it's metal into plastic, so. So it's like the rear side of the differential with the brake. All right. Now, next piece is the front brake. The brake shoes, pads that hold. They check the pads. I think they're in pretty good condition. I don't think this truck really got ran a whole lot. I believe they're semi-metallic. Here's the old brake rotor. That's got a little bit of, I don't know if that was rust or, but this side definitely had it. So I don't want to deal with that. That's just going to cause my brake pads to rust. This is what happens when you let a bunch of stuff sit around for too long. Shouldn't do it. But we have an idea. Part number 5364X. This is a vented brake rotor. It's a high-performance vented steel brake rotor. This was for the Revo. Revo parts seem to be harder and harder to get. Nice looking piece. Heavy little thing. All right. So I did read the instructions. You cannot use the stock bolts for the brake shoes. This one is definitely a little bit thicker. A little bit. Looks like it's twice this thickness. And this actually fits in that vented slot. Indicates they do keep it longer bolts. Not sure how much longer, but that much longer. Alright, so this is the back brake pad. This is shoe and pad. This little nub here goes right up against that. Then our rotor drops on. And our other brake shoe. And then we start using our new bolts. Alright, a little bit of play in there. Doesn't move. So what actually locks that brake rotor on is drive shaft, center drive shaft. It's got two little pins that go in through the rotor, and then the drive shaft bolts in through that shaft. So we're just gonna let everything ride like that so we can actually install the transmission back into the chassis. Once again, that upgraded brake rotor, Traxxas part number 5364X. Brake disc high performance vented. Yes, these parts are getting a little harder to find because it's getting harder and harder to run gas. Electric definitely blows it out of the water, but we just want to have some fun. Alright, everything's moving freely still. We have a front rotor with a high vented brake disc, two carbon rear rotors. We can adjust brake biases. Aren't we just Gucci? Mental note, take out the bolts that you used to mount the transmission. Just so you guys know that it's so much easier. And the little plastic piece captures it in there. We have our transmission drop back in. Brakes are free of everything. Go ahead and put the linkage back together, although it's not going to be set. Brake linkage is back together. We have not locked the transmission into the chassis yet. I believe we have to do that with the skid plate that goes over top of it. Nice and free. Alright. Transmission all cleaned up. Well, we want to get the transmission all cleaned up. But it's fixed up. New brakes. Well, at least new brake rotor. Looking pretty good, coming back together. Alright. Oh, we'll have to stop for now. Take care of my helper. But it's coming back together.